I'm a little. Get me my jacket on. I was sitting down, trying to get a quick snack in because I was hungry. Oh, how are you guys doing today? I don't know if people's gonna watch the playback. I'm putting my jacket on because I'm exposing too much. You know? Ooh, let me put some ice in my cup. I'll be right there. I need some ice for my coconut water that I'm gonna be drinking. Hi guys. Ooh. How you guys doing? Oh, this pink looks good on me. I should start wearing pink. I'm gonna start like I need to do my hair. I don't know if I'm gonna start. I may start doing my hair tonight with you guys. We'll see because my sleep schedule has been off, so I might just stay up late with you guys. So we have a little bit of ice left in this bag. So use the ice. I had I just ate. I did not come on here when I ate because I was indecent. I still they have this jacket on me. So and I was like I was trying to go sign some papers, but um I was told to come next week. So that's fine. So we're gonna be drinking on some coconut water. Not all coconut water is the best, but I'm gonna try this one. I don't remember how this coconut water tastes. Tell you the truth, I think it's thinking about it. That's just separate. Mm, I don't know. It's not sweet. Usually it has like a little like sweetness to it, and then it tastes good, coconut water. But um, let me see if there's no mildew there, because lately, well, for the past few years, we've been having surprises in canned beverages. So um, I don't know. So it's 60 calories, zero trans fat, 60 grams of sodium. I don't know if that's a good thing. And 12 total sugar. No, 13 grams total of sugar. And I don't taste the sugar. I do not taste the sugar. So it could be me. My taste bud is just off. But thank you for liking the live, guys. How you guys doing today? Happy New Year. Um, my new year has been recovering, recuperating, trying to get myself back together, and looking for a better job. Um, I will take you guys on this journey with me. So I'm actually on the computer right now. I heard about this manpower agency, whatever they call them, and they are looking for different people to do different things, and some of the position that they have, I have experience with. So we're gonna jump right onto this opportunity, and I want to take you guys along with me. Are y'all ready for this? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you guys the screen that I'm looking at on my computer. So it's called Manpower Location Central PA. As you all, well, I don't know who has been here for a long time. I do live in Pennsylvania, so that's how far I'm gonna go. I do live in Pennsylvania, and I'm currently looking for a job. So, another employment. Oh, it could be my taste bud, but just don't. If you're trying to really cut out sugar and still get some juice in, this is gonna be your best friend. Okay, I'm about to be on there too because, as you know, I'm also on a journey of, you know, making my health a little bit better. But I'm still having my little downfalls. So we have kettle chips jalapeno, and this is the Clancy's brand. Is gluten free. It's not the best, but for a cheap big bag jalapeno chips, this suffice because I got it from Aldi's. I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce it right, Sarah, but hi. Happy New Year, everybody. Okay. So what I did is the person that worked in HR, she sent me like the direct site for me to go to apply. Come and taste this if you taste the sugar in here. It could be my taste bud.
So can we eat what?
Yeah. Just to taste it. Taste if you see
What
the
is
sugar.
this?
Coconut water.
Guys, taste as coconut water.
Try it. Hurry up. You're taking too long. Stop playing.
Okay.
That tastes like. Yeah. It, don't. That wasn't me. It wasn't only me. It's the drink. It has so. If you really don't want to, well, it does have sugar in it, but it has. I don't know if 13. I don't know if 13 grams of sugar is bad or good.
I don't like coconut water.
It has 60%, no, 60 grams of sodium. So I don't know if it's those two good. I don't know. I'll look it up. But I don't know if that's the.
It's a fail, guys. It's a fail.
I don't know if it's the best of the best.
It's a fail.
Okay, go to your homework. So, okay. So I'm at the part on this because they asked me when I went to go look for. I went to Korean Link. Usually, Korean Link. I don't really want to say it, but I went to Korean Link just to see if anything it was hiring immediately because I need employment immediately. Like I needed to start working like last week. And I think I told you guys a little bit. Yesterday I was talking. If you missed the live, you missed the live. There's a piece of hair that's bothering me. If you missed the live, you missed the live. I don't think I'm going to say everything on here because I do believe that there might be some people that could come on here that may know some people that know people where I currently is employed at. But Okay, so what happened was, I remember I told you guys, like where I currently work at, when they want to let go of somebody, they give them one day out of the week, and they cut their hours. So they will give you 4 hours. So for me, it was 4 hours. And that's what I've been noticing when they're tired of somebody, they don't want them to work there anymore. They give them one day a week, 4 hours, until the person either quit, realize that, talk to them, or stay. So far, like it's me, and now before me it was this one guy that they wanted to get rid of. So the guy was getting one day out of the week, 4 hours, because they're just tired of him. And hey, what up, what up, what up? They're just tired of him. They don't want him to work anymore at that store. So they don't want to give him unemployment. That's why they do it. They don't want to give unemployment, and they basically um, that's how they don't communicate with you. They don't talk to you. They just do that. So um, for the past few weeks, I've been getting one day out of the whole week, 4 hours. And I'm like, I I myself knew my time was up, just because everything became, the things that don't need to be difficult is difficult. Um, it's nothing like there's no raises. When you work holiday, they don't pay you holiday pay, even though they tell you they're gonna pay you holiday pay. Um, Not every year I've looked towards for holiday pay, but the was it last year? Mm-mm. The year before last, I was looking forward to the holiday pay. The first year I didn't do it. Like I wasn't like I worked, but I wasn't like eager. Like okay, I'm gonna get holiday pay. I'll be on site. It wasn't that first year. It was my second year. But they was like, oh, you're gonna get holiday pay and stuff like that. And they were talking about it. I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to it. Nothing. Nothing. And I was like, I was a little bit kind of like, um, kind of sad about that. So I was like, and I kind of like, in this year, the holidays that just passed, I didn't work. I did not work. I did not work because um, it didn't make no sense for me to work if I knew that I wasn't gonna get paid. I wasn't gonna, you know, it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. You know, it didn't make sense for me to work knowing that I wasn't gonna get holiday pay, and I was only gonna get 4 hours. And you know, in this year, my time has been Like I sign up for certain things, and my time has been, it's been cut down. Spend time with my kids, so I wanted to spend time with them. But the funny thing that happened, I got severely sick. My intention was to spend time with the family, but I got really sick. That was so crazy. It was so crazy. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I was so sick, guys. I I I'm like, what? Like it was so bad. I think it was 21. I think it was 21 to 22. Yeah. I got so sick. I was like, um, I was in shock how sick I got. Then I took some medication to make me feel better. I took some medication to make me feel better. Hey, I screwed up. That medication, I had an adverse effect and I had medication interaction. So the other medication that was in my system interacted with the night medication I was taking and just gave me muscle cramps in my lower diaphragm, my stomach, my pelvic, my back. It was bad. It was bad. It was extremely bad. It was really bad. So um, it took me a long time to recover. Like when I wasn't coughing, I was still in pain to move. I was driving my stomach. It was like the pain I was experiencing. It was like when you get a Charlie horse or you have a muscle cramp on your leg. I was getting it in my stomach, and I was getting it on the top of my stomach, on the bottom, like the lower part of my stomach. I was like, and I was driving. That was dangerous. It was so dangerous. I was like, oh my goodness. So, anyways, let's return to the point. So the days that I took off from to spend with the family, I was sick. I was recovering, and when I started to feel a little better, my mental was like so like I don't know, slow. It was like gray. I don't know how to explain it. It was just weird. It's some type of virus that is like affecting everybody differently or the same. Um, mm, I spoke right. Oh. But yeah, so um, you know what I'm gonna put it. Hmm. I think it was October 18. 2023 year. That time went fast, guys. Um, to still working on it, so I could just put this here. What is it? Today's the 7th. Hi. 26. Today's the 7th, right? But yeah, so what I was saying, so I was really sick. So when I went back to work, actually, I was supposed to go back to work one day and I couldn't. So, and it was like a no call, no show. But like a day later, I explained to him why I couldn't. And I came back. So, but even before I got sick, my hours were cut. They were cut. And I don't believe it's because they don't have hours. I honestly do not believe that. I believe is retaliation, and they're just like they got the people that they want to be there on shift, and they don't want me to work there anymore. When I first worked there, I have videos. When I first worked there, if you go over years, like 2 years back, you will see the videos I will make, like the things that they would do. I'm gonna even watch it because I'm not tripping. I'm not going crazy because there's certain things that they used to do that was like kind of like concerning. Like I remember the first time I worked there, they had like the sticky note, you know, the little notepads. You write a note and you stick it somewhere where you need to remember, or if you're giving it to somebody, you tell them the information, whatever the case may be. But there's a sticky notepad that they had, and it said, "Hi, I am a Karen. Hi, I'm a Karen." And they are Caucasian, and they took the sticky note off the wall, and they was pinning it on each other and laughing. At the moment, I did not think anything of it, but they were doing it, and then they kept on doing it, like putting it on each other. And the there's assistant managers and the manager. The manager is the top boss. They're always there on that shift. No one, like, I didn't notice what was going on. I thought something was off, but the way my mind is set up, I'm very like slow to certain things, and I think there's a reason why for that, because God blessed me with that type of mindset, because I'm a type of person, I'll go from a 0 to 100 like that, depending on who the person is and what is going on. And that's not a good trait. That is one of my flaws. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm confessing. I'm confessing to you guys the things that I struggle with. So, and I feel like if I noticed what they were doing, ooh, I don't think it would be good. And God put you, open doors. You're in a position, or you allow yourself to be in a certain position for a long time, that you get to observe and see certain things that it could be the person, it could be you. And there's a lot of things that I need to improve in too. I stayed committed to that job for a very long time because it was a time I didn't have a car. I could walk there. I could come from work. I didn't have to really rely on people for rides. And then when I did ask for rides, people had, their reservation. Why do you want to give me a ride? And that's your choice. Hey, it is what it is. It just gave me a backbone, notice certain things, and just made me more of not understanding, but I see your viewpoint. I respect your viewpoint. You stay right there. I stay right there. So yeah, I don't understand why you would do certain things, but you stay right there. I stay right here. And I don't think that's the best thing. But then again, for certain situations, we all adults here, so this is what it is. What it is. Um, it was some benefits to it. But when I noticed, when it came down to the professionalism in the store, it wasn't there. When it came down to uh, raises, it wasn't there. When it came down to holiday pay, it wasn't there. The other thing, that it was so many red flags that I just bypassed because I just did not want to sit home and not work and wait for a better opportunity, because I feel like I would go into deep depression because of everything that was going on at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm just out the house. I'm not in the house. I'm just out the house. So I don't have to fall into that deep depression. That was my goal and mindset at the beginning, because I realized that, I don't know if I disclosed that with you guys. I'll repeat it again because I feel like to. When I first work around here. I was a shift supervisor at a well-known pharmacy store, and I had a certain amount of hours, like a regular full-time shift, and the hours were there, the pay was there. I remember one time my check was $1,000, and I thought they made a mistake with payroll, to the point that I called my boss to call HR to make sure it was correct, and they was like, no, this is what you need to get. It was $1,000 and more. I never really just know the pay was there. The pay was there. So after that happened, the only thing that was happening was when I came in, they automatically put me in leadership. I did not go through steps to become a shift supervisor. I applied for the job, they gave me the job, and I started working. There was a lady that was there. I didn't know she had an issue with that. I didn't know what was her issue, but she would do the most conniving and creepy things to me. Like one time, I was, when, so as a shift supervisor, you have to make sure everything is up to date and it's not expired. Because if it's expired, somebody buy it, it'll be a lawsuit, and whoever's on shift that day that was supposed to check it, you're responsible for it. So I was in the fridge doing that, checking the dates, and she comes literally behind me, like this close, and did this creepy noise, some type of creepy noise, and I thought I was hallucinating at a moment, because it was just, I didn't hear her come behind me, I didn't hear her walking. It was just a creepy noise. And I thank God for the spirit of the Holy Ghost. I wasn't scared, but I felt something, to the point I started praying in tongues. When I turned around, she was right behind, literally right behind me. And mind you, we don't talk like that. I keep it professional with her. We're not friendly like that. You know how you have work friends, or you have coworkers that you're friendly with. You like, you at a friendly level that you like. I don't know. I just don't know. But we were not at that level at all. So for her to come behind me and did that, it turned me off. It creeped me out so much. And this lady have done so much things to me, to the point that I was like, I'm not safe. Like, I am literally not safe, because not only that, when I was on shift, somebody had a coupon, and the coupon, they could get discounts off. So the receipt have to match the number that's on the register. So what happened is, sometimes they have the same number, the same receipt, and they have the coupon, like a $3 off, $4 off for their purchase, or if it's a certain type of product, they have a certain amount of money off that product. So the lady coupon wasn't working, and she called me to come and figure it out. Now, I'm a shift supervisor, but I don't have a lot of experience doing that. But either way, I am the manager on shift that moment. So she called me to help the customer. And usually, we all know the system doesn't honor promotions, don't honor the deals, don't honor the discounts. So what I did is, I tried to figure out if it was her number and the thing and the receipt matching. It matched. So since I couldn't take it off from the receipt, I manually took it off the discount, because the discount is right there, it's not expired, it's the right number. And then when I did that, she was pretending she didn't know what she was doing. She was pretending she didn't see how to do it. She was pretending that she needed the manager to come up front and help her. Soon as I helped the customer, she gonna say, "Oh, did you just give money off without her proving that was her account? Did you just do this?" And I'm like, "What?" And she was like, "Well, the she was like, basically, the number did not match the receipt, and that wasn't her account. You just committed, um almost like, she's like, almost like I gave her discount without her having anything to prove that she needed a discount, or she had something to get the discount, like a coupon. Like, the coupon did not match the number that was online, which it did, and I verified. You're supposed to verify if the account matches, and also verify if it's the same phone number. Because usually what people will do, if they have so much coupon on their account, and they because with that type of coupon, you could get $10 off, $4 off, $3 off on your whole purchase, and as well, you could get more money off on particular items. But sometimes people get what they need. They don't go beyond that. They was like, okay, somebody else can use their coupon, and they will just leave the coupon around the store. But you can't really use it because you don't know the person's phone number, or you don't have the card, so it doesn't work. So my job is to verify those things, if it's expired and if it's under the same account. I check it all match, so I gave it the discount without using a coupon because, as I said, the system do not always honor the discount in the promotion, the deal that's going on at the time. But she made it seem like I did something wrong. And I told her, why are you telling me that now? Why you didn't tell me when I came up? Because you said you didn't know what was going on and you couldn't give her the discount. You didn't know what to do. And you knew certain, like she knew something, but she didn't tell me. She wanted me to, like, I guess, figure it out on my own. But if you're calling for help, you need to tell me what you need help with and be honest. And she was pretending. So when I told her that statement, she was like, oh, I'm not the manager. That is your responsibility. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. She was like, almost like she was trying to make it seem like it was a problem and get me to be reprimanded by my manager when they come back. But lo and behold, I did everything correct and I was right. The system was not honoring her deal. So that was another thing she was doing, and that little information could show you how they were with me on shift. Like, I would be yelled at, and there's another thing that's a part of that I'm not gonna mention, but it was kind of like tense. The other thing that put icing on the cake, it was the nail in the coffin, that was my last straw, is that I would not take breaks throughout my whole shift. I worked from 8 to 3. I wouldn't take breaks throughout my whole shift, and my break were, what was my time? So I would be 8 to 3:30 or 8 to 4, right? In the morning. I rarely work at night. So when I didn't take my break, there was a reason for that. I have 2 kids. We just moved to this area. They're on a school bus. They've never been on a school bus before, and we live like in the same semi unsafe area. So my attention was, and my goal was, I take my break when they're gonna get off the bus, or on the time they're gonna get off the bus, so I can meet them there. Or I take my break around um like 2:40, 2:30. So by the time they get off the bus, I'm already in the house. I greet them, give them snacks, tell them to do their homework, and get them situation and go back to work. So they noticed my pattern, which was nothing bad because people was taking their break at 10 o'clock and you start at 8 o'clock. People was taking their break at 9:30. People's taking their break at 11 o'clock. Fine, that is them. I was fine, and then they noticed that I wasn't taking my break on time. So, what happened was they would the first thing they were doing, they would take their break the time that I usually take my break. So between 2:30 and 3 o'clock, they would take their break, or they would take their break at 3. And since they took their break, I can't leave because I am the manager on shift, so I cannot leave the store. I have to stay until they come back. If there's another manager in the store, then I can leave. And I noticed they started to do that because they noticed my pattern, which I wasn't inconveniencing anybody. I wasn't causing a problem for anybody. I explained to them, I explained to the coworkers, and I also explained to my manager why I was doing that, why it was important for me to take my break at a certain time. And it was a legit reason. I don't know. I don't know. But anywho, I told them that, and then they started to take the break around the time that I usually leave the store to go take my break. Um, so I noticed that too, and I was like, okay. So I started to leave my phone with my kids. Something happens. By the time they get off the bus, this, that, and the third, they could contact me and call me. Not only that, they came to me one day. They gave me a paper to sign. A paper to sign stating that, wait, actually, backtrack. I'm going too fast. The second, there was multiple things that happened, but I'm trying to give like the main things that are coming up in my mind, and some stuff that really made me help me to make that decision. The other thing that happened is that the area that we move in, we're the different, we're the minorities. We not just know that the things that certain people say is not kind, and like I wouldn't say it to a person. I would not allow my kids to say it to the person. Now, my kids have their choice to do what they want to do, but is there consequences on doing something good and bad? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. Should you do it? No. So at the end of the day, I talk to my kids and say certain things you shouldn't say. Even a person cuss at you, do not repeat the cuss word. Okay, fine. You said it, they said it to you, or whatever the case may be, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get whatever consequence is gonna be to you, because at home you're taught not to repeat certain things that you know is bad or you don't know at all. And if you want to know what it is, just ask me and I will tell you. I will tell you. So, long story short, my there was some issues on the bus. When there was some issues on the bus, I couldn't, like, I talked to my kids. I couldn't, like, help them because they actually is happening on the bus, and I was like, okay, I don't know what else to do. And it became like every single day it was just like it was like getting worse and worse and worse and worse. But what happened was is that they was having trouble with these kids that live down from us, and the kids would say things to them, and they would say things back, and the parent would come to me and be all rowdy and ratchet and just not like, I don't know, they were just being rude. And they see me, they think I'm gonna give them that energy, that type of energy back. I didn't. I just kept it polite, kept it, respectful. And I told them to talk to me as an adult, and I'll talk to you as an adult. And then they kind of sense the type of person I was, not was, but they see the type of energy I was giving back to them. So, I talked to my child because my child did repeat something to the kids that would say something to him, and I told him, I asked him, did you do it? He said, yeah, because this, that, and that. And I was like, no, that's no excuses. You're not supposed to do that. And I have him apologize. As I feel like as the parent, I should do that. That's the correct thing to do. But did the parent do that for their child? No. It was like my child was in the wrong. My child was supposed to like do the right thing, even if whatever's happening to him, and not talk to their child. Now, if they reprimand their child when they got home, I don't know. But at that moment, they did not they did not tell their child to apologize. They did not question their child. Did you say that to this child? They didn't even do anything like that. It was like my child was the only one in the wrong. Fine. And I'm never going to be the type of person, oh, the reason why my child did that is because your child did this, so he just copped. No. My child knows right from wrong. If you know you're not supposed to do that, you did it. That is your fault, not the other kid's fault. Because you have your mindset, you're brilliant, you're smart, you know right from wrong. You shouldn't do it at all. So the other thing was, I get off on break. I was supposed to be on break at a certain time. And when I was supposed to be on break at a certain time, they went on break, so I couldn't leave the store. So when they finally come back from break, I rushed in my car, rushed to get here so I can meet my kids, because they were having, there was a lot of issues going on, a lot that I actually block out because it was very traumatic to me. I'm telling you that these kids were taking shoes off my kids' feet. Who does that? So, the other incident that happened was I rushed to come here before they got here, prepare their snacks and stuff like that. And I left the door cracked. When I'm in the house, I hear a guy outside telling my kids, get your dad out here. I want to talk to him. Get your dad out here now. Like talking to him aggressively. I'm like, whoa. And I opened the door because they didn't think. I opened the door. Like, as soon as he said, I just opened the door. And I'm like, what's the problem? And then the guy basically said that, my kid did this, whatever. And I asked my kid, did you do that? He explained to me, yes, he did that. And I was like, why did you do that? Why do you think that was okay? He basically told me what happened, saying that this child was doing this to him, and then he just said what the child said. And I told him, you're not supposed to do that regardless. If the kid did something to you, you don't copy that. You don't do that. You don't do that. I had my kid apologize to the kid, and the parent was like, before we even got to that point, the parent was just cussing at me, talking to me like rudely, and I was like, no, you're not gonna talk to me like that. Talk to me with respect. So I'm gonna talk to you with respect. Long story short, we settled that down. The problem was that guy followed my kids home. Them kids follow my kids, and they're always following me home. They're always watching where they're going in, when they're coming out. They followed my kids home, and I I didn't see the issue at the time, but when I repeat the story to their dad, and the dad was basically saying the guy followed the kids home, and I was like, yeah, and then I started to see how dangerous it was that that happened. So that right there just made me really nervous, and I also shared that information with my coworker, and I shared that information with my manager, telling them how important it was for me to leave at a certain time, for me to be there at least when they get off the bus, so creepies don't do stuff like that anymore. So the other incident that happened was that same guy within that week or the next week um, was around where we live. Now, my neighbors, when that incident happened, when he came to my door, started cussing, doing whatever he was doing, they were outside listening to what was going on, and then they basically came after what happened. They came after and say, "Oh, that guy's always causing trouble. Always, if somebody's new, he's always trying to test the waters with somebody, and how he tests the waters with them, and how her significant other was already ready for him to do that again, for him to correct him." And how, she was just telling me all of this, and I didn't ask her for all that information, but she was just disclosing it to me. So after that, there was a day I told the kids to throw out the trash, right? But something in my spirit was telling me, go and watch your kids throw out the trash. I'm like, the kids are just throwing out the trash. I don't need to watch them throw out the trash. So I think in my spirit was saying, go and wash your kids, throw out the trash. So I go stand in the door to go wash the steps. They was like, you better get your butt out the house and go watch your kids throwing out the trash. And I was like, oh my goodness. And that voice was very powerful, powerful. Like it was it was just like, hi, hi Stephanie. It was just getting stronger and stronger. And I went outside. When I went outside, I see the guy that came in front of my door sitting in the neighbor's house that was saying everything she was telling me, and how this is how he is. Sitting in front of her house, eating. She was giving him food. And he had a plate, but he was just staring at my youngest son. And was just staring, staring, staring. I'm like, why is the guy staring at my kid like that? To the point, I'm a type of person, you're gonna stare. I might stare at you back, wave, and say hello because you're just making, you just forgetting what you're doing. But I didn't feel that. I felt like I had this protect your kid thing came over me. I'm like, why are you staring at my son like that? He's like, oh, I'm going to press charges. And I'm like, why are you gonna press charges? Now he gonna say that how his daughter came home with marks on her neck, and how she said that it was my son that did that. I was like, wait, hold up, excuse me? He was like, my daughter came home. I see she had marks on her neck, and she says it was my son that did that. And I was like, and I usually not the type of person to do that. I'm not a person from if they say, oh, your kid did that, and I go say, oh, my kid didn't do this. I'm not like that. No, because the kid will embarrass you in a quick second. Okay? I know that firsthand because I was a naughty child. So at that moment, I was like, I already, like, as I said, my protective, something like instantly nudged me to protect him. So that protective state of mind was like, I don't think my kid did that, and I know he didn't do that. But you as a parent, you verify and make sure what you're telling me is accurate, and I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure what you're saying is correct, because I know for a fact my son didn't do that. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to press. I'm like, if you got to press charges, you can press charges, but I'm going to press charges too, because you are harassing my family. You harassing my kids. So I did not take that lightly, and I was not only concerned for that situation, but I was concerned for the child, the girl, because you cannot be having marks on your neck like that to the point that your parents are asking questions and you are lying on top of that. That is very concerning, very extremely concerning. So for me, as a mandated reporter, because of my profession and what I do, and work in environments where I need to get background check, I need to do all that stuff. And if I do see something on a person, I have to report it. Okay, I am a mandated reporter through the state. So I am all like my antennas, my Holy Ghost is going off. The alarm is just like you need to do something now. So what I go do is I go call the principal, because at this time me and the principal was just talking back and forth. We were talking about the behaviors on the bus, what's going on the bus, things that the kids are saying, things that the kids are doing. It's just crazy, to the point that I'm having meetings with the teacher, but I'm being ambushed with the principal, the psychiatrist, everybody, because what's happening is things are going on the bus that I cannot control. Kids will be kids. I cannot control what the kids do, but they're not identifying the problem. They just see the problem and they just think whatever it is, what it is. But I'm going to tell you how God has a way of protecting you in the madness when the enemy want to try to come. And there's another thing about this that I'm not mentioning. Maybe I should mention that at the end, but I was talking about the job. You can see how, I don't know if y'all have been here for a long time, but I have a tendency of saying a story and telling you 5 stories in one story. So I feel like I'm doing that. So I'm going to try to finish what I'm going to say, then repeat the other story. So I called the principal and I told the principal exactly what the guy said, even though it was incriminating, even though it sounded weird, even though I was a parent of the child that's being accused. I said exactly what the guy said to me. And I asked the principal, please verify what happened, because this is what they're saying that he did. And mind you, soon as the guy said that, the neighbor goes around the whole neighborhood and saying that how the kid did this to the other kid's neck. And I'm like, oh, that's the time we're on. So, long story short, the principal called the bus company. They have audio and they have video on the bus. They can hear what the kids are saying. They can see what the kids are doing. So anything that goes down, you're not going to get away with it. Let alone choking somebody, hurting somebody like that. You're not going to get away with it. You can't get away like this. Okay? So what happened was they go look at the camera and they go see the little girl is the one that's putting a plastic bag over my son's head while he's just sitting there not doing anything. That was the issue on the bus. That was what was going on. But the parent did not tell me that. The kid did not tell the parent that. Who told me that? It was the bus company that told the principal that, and the principal said, we're gonna get in the bottom of this. I'm so sorry that happened to your son. I'm so sorry that the guy is doing that to your family, this, that, and the third, but we're going to get in the bottom of this. And I was like, thank you very much. Because I'm going to the law enforcement, because I did chain of command. Because as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm a type of person that goes from 0 to 100, but I need my reasoning. And as soon as I get my reasoning, I just see red until God just put white in my head and says, you better hold your horses. Step back, let me do what I gotta do. Let me vindicate. What's the, like, do you know how they said vengeance is for the Lord? God had to literally say that to me. I need to feel him, because I am a stubborn person. That's not the flaw of mine. I am stubborn. If I'm passionate about something, I think something seriously, it's gonna take a long time for me to be like at ease, you know. So that's another flaw of mine. So when the principal told me that, I was like, let that guy come around here, just smoke around here, I'm calling the cops. Because at the end of the day, what he's doing is not okay. I should have been done that because of what he was doing, and he was dangerous. You going by what your daughter's saying, not verifying what your daughter's saying. What you need to do is really pay attention to the child, because there's something happened to her, obviously, because she has a mark on her neck, and they will not allow that to happen on the bus. And the way the kids are on the bus, if one person is picking on one person, and that one person is like been in the area or is the same type of person as them, they're gonna, even though the child is wrong, they're gonna defend that child. So imagine if my kid did do that to the girl. I would have heard about it. I would have known about it. And my oldest son is there too. So while they were saying it was a lie, but the truth was my son was the one that was getting attacked. My son was the one that was getting through all these things. And I was like, this is not safe. 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 And I'm like, this is not safe. I cannot literally risk the well-being, mental health of mine and my kids anymore. I can't risk it anymore. So when they told me that, it made my decision to leave the job. Why I left the job is because I don't take my other break any other time. I talked to my manager. I told him when everything was going on. I kept that updated and told her why. And I thought it was important to do so. And I thought she would understand me. After that incident happened, I told her that I need to take my break at a certain time. If anybody else want to go take a break, go ahead, take a break. People be taking more than 30-minute break. I don't care. I know I'm there to work, so I'm going to work. So, it is what it is. But when it came time for me to take my break, let me go. Let me go because it's serious. You know, I'm here. I'm the only one here most of the time with my kids. Sometimes my son's father comes through, but it's not often. So they have me by the grace of God if to pick them up to something happened for me to run to go reach them because there's no other parent in the household all the time. I'm talking too much. But when I explained that to my manager and I told her that, maybe a couple of weeks later, she comes with me with a policy paper with like a official paper stating that I need to take my break at a certain time, that I can't leave at a certain time. If not, I'm gonna get fired. I'm like, wait, what? And the time they told me to take the break, it wasn't the time that I usually leave to take the break. It wasn't the time that was aligned for me to take the break for the kids. And I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous. I told her, I explained to her, I talked to her. She knew I just moved to the area. She knew all of this. So I was like, why is she doing that? And we both were new at this supervisor position. She was younger than me, and she was my boss. I was a manager, ship supervisor when she wasn't there, and I was new. So we both was new at this position, but the difference is she worked at the store. She moved up in levels. She worked at the store, and there was somebody else that used to work there longer than her, didn't want that position because it was a lot in that position. There's a lot of responsibility. So she would talk in her ears and told her to do what she needed to do with me. She wasn't going by the book. She wasn't making that decision on her own. She was being influenced by people that was working there already. And I was like, this is not safe for me. I don't like this. And okay, maybe I was just I was being immature. I was, whatever you may call it. I was like, okay, I'm done with this job. So I told the manager, I give you a month to find somebody to replace me, but I'm leaving. And usually give 2 weeks notice. I give a month notice because I feel like, my position, just know there was several people that came behind me to take that position. None of them last. The lady that gave me a hard time, she wanted that position. After maybe, I want to say 6 months to a year, she actually within 6 months to a year, she became a shift supervisor. The lady didn't even last longer than I did. I'm lying. She didn't last for a year. Let's just say that. She did not last for a year. And mind you, the lady was already working in the pharmacy section. She had something going on. She couldn't do it anymore. She became a sales associate in the front. And she literally had a problem because I became a shift supervisor without being there for a very long time. Not that I was doing my job wrongly. I made sure I asked questions. I made sure I was doing it correctly. I made sure I took my time to do it correctly because I didn't want to screw up stuff. If I actually did, I wanted to make sure I did it correct. That was her problem. But when she became the shift supervisor, and it led me to know she became a shift supervisor after I left. And I left for how long? Why y'all telling me that now? She didn't even last. She did not even last. So I think God knows what was in her heart. I don't know what exactly it was, but this is the stuff that was going on with me at that first job. And I was like, there's certain stress that you can take, there's certain stress that you have to take, and certain stress you don't need at all. So I feel like that job, that whole environment, what they were doing was not really looking out for my benefits and the children. So I left. So when I left, and it was no like working evening shift, because everybody, the reason why I took the morning shift, the reason why I was like so quick to get the morning shift as well, nobody wanted to do it. Nobody wanted to take that position because you have to be there before 8 o'clock, because 8 o'clock the store open, but you have to make sure the register is straight, money count is done, everything that was supposed to be done. Yes, the night before have to be completed, and you have to print out some stuff that needs to be printed out. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to do. Plus, you have to deal with customers and make sure the store is straight before the customer comes in. So there's a lot of people that was offered that position, they didn't take it. I wonder why. So when I finally took it, they had a problem. That one particular lady had a problem with it. You know, she already know people there. She already worked there for how many years. So it was like she had a upper hand in me, and she could influence my manager, and the other one could influence my manager what she should do, what she shouldn't do. So when it came to the time for me to take my break, which was so petty, I feel like it was something that could have been worked on, because I did not inconvenience anybody. Anybody could go in their break, but when it came to 2:30 to 3, or 2:40 to 3:10, whatever the case may be, please let me go on my break. That's all I'm asking. And sometimes I even try to go at 3 o'clock, and that's pushing it, because the kids get off at 3:07 or 3:12 off the bus. So that's even pushing it. I want to make sure everything's straight. So I let that job go. And I think I left in a decent manner, you know. So I ended up getting that one job. That one job was close enough, was near me, and I had part-time hours. I didn't work full-time. I had part-time hours, so I'll definitely be here with the kids when they get off the bus. But at that time, when the problem on the bus was going on, and it was a lot of things was going on, and I really felt concerned, not only for my kids, but for the other kids too, because as I said, when that little girl said what she said, and that wasn't the truth, and she did have the mark on her, but my son didn't do that, and they made sure they look at the days before, weeks before, to see if that ever happened, and they only see the little girl antagonizing. That's what the principal say. The little girl was antagonizing my son and putting her hands on my son, and my son wasn't doing anything. Because I talk to them. I tell them, like, you have to have self-control, even in a position where a female is hitting you. You need to know, even if a male or female, but mostly nowadays, they're not playing that, oh, he hit me, he did this to me, and they're gonna run with her story. No, they're gonna verify it before they run with that. Because so many women say stuff. Let me not say that. I sound so insensitive. So many false allegations been out that they realized it was false allegation after years being in prison, after years of getting tormented, after their name and their reputation have been ruined. So I feel like there's a lot of people speaking up, and in the manner of identifying, was this a true story? And it's hard for other females or even male to actually say, you know what, to speak up, because of so much lies. So knowing that, and knowing I experienced something firsthand, I tell my kids, if a female is hitting you, you don't hit them. You make noise and get attention on them, because not everybody likes attention. Some people like good and bad attention, but when somebody's doing something criminal, they don't want attention. They want to hide. So I told him, you go, you have to say, help, help. You just say, this lady trying to do this. You bring attention to where it's happening and you move on. And if you can't do that and the person is literally right in front of you, you move them out the way and you run. If they want to call you a punk, you can't fight. Yeah, call me all the names you want in the world, but when law enforcement comes, they're gonna try to identify, did I have the opportunity to move away or do what I gotta do, or if my reasoning or my reaction was, how would I say, was justified. Because what has happened in the past, when people defend themselves, and sometimes they could snap, or even if they don't snap, they'll still get reprimanded, still get some type of legal action towards them because, oh, maybe they shouldn't punch them 3 times. They should have moved them to the side and move away. Or this is what they could have done. They could have, instead of throwing this over there, they could have just picked this up and put it over here. They'll find every single reason to not look at what the other person did, but look at what you did to be reprimanded as well. I've seen things of female antagonizing a male, hitting a male, and certain males are not raised or taught not to hit a female back. They are promoted to, she want to hit you like a man, then you hit her like a man. Do I agree with that? No, I do not. I do not. Because at the end of the day, even if, I'm just gonna stop right there, you will still, as a male, still be reprimanded for hitting her back. I don't know why the system like that, but since we know the system like that, let's play by the system. Let's be smart by it. But when it comes down to legal action, you're writing them paper, you're adding them commas to them zeros. You do what you gotta do to get what you need to get. That's all I have to say. Because at the end of the day, we need to learn. We need to learn either the right way or the wrong way. I, in my position, had to learn. I used to type of person, I think I could hit everybody. I learned you shouldn't hit everybody. That's not how you, that's not how you get your point across. I used to, I still, maybe a year ago flipped the table, and because I was so upset because what was happening was just uncalled for. I did that. We all learn. We all make mistakes, but we have to learn. So at the end of the day, I had to learn myself. But I teach my kids, like, a female come and hit you, she crazy. No crazy. Let crazy speak one time to you. You be next to crazy. If you didn't know crazy was crazy, and that was next to you, that's that one time you just stay away. Because at the end of the day, let that crazy suffer their consequences by themselves. You're not around crazy. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna say, oh, that's a vulnerable female. Nope. There's some female that will hit you, and I know that from experience, will hit you. After they hit you, the male gets upset because they're not taught self-control. Some males are not taught self-control. Some males didn't have the opportunity to teach self-control. Some males didn't have the opportunity for somebody to speak to them, be like, okay, this is what a person shouldn't do, this is what a person should do. They didn't have the opportunity. So guess what they're gonna do? A female keeps hitting them. We're not robots. Even robots have malfunction. Even robots snap. Why don't you think another person is gonna snap if a person keeps hitting them? So this guy got upset, okay, and did other things, and I was in the presence of that, and I had to say stop because I was petrified. I didn't know what was going to happen because everybody was crazy, and I was in a room full of crazy. But since I was closer to one, I was just trying to break apart. It broke apart. Guess what the lady does? After she hit the guy several times, and the guy at the time was like, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. Hit her back, did what he did. They finally listened to me to let go and stop hitting. The lady calls the, okay, go call them. And she was like, oh, she said DV is going on right now, gave the address, put the phone down. I kid you not, it was like a movie. put the phone down and grabbed grab one of these and was like, let's go. I was like, what? I was like, let's go. I'm here literally pulling the guy out the house. I'm like, no, this lady's crazy. She's like, let's go. And she's coming. I don't know how and when the brother of the lady comes through, was like, my sister's crazy. That's how she is. And she's not getting her way. Just what she does. She has put so many other people in problems like that. Let's go. And her brother was crazier. Okay? They all had a temper. Okay? They all had that. Yo. Just know, we was in the car and the lady was still trying to come. And this time her brother and her were just, and I was like, Dad, what's going on here? I can't be in the midst of this. This is scary. And then after that, just know it didn't stop there. It did not stop there. But that story alone, how she hit the guy and the guy got upset. The guy finally hit her back, and then she got upset that he hit her back. Then she called the you know what, and they said, let's go. After putting the phone down, she had like a weapon in her hands. I was like, yo. So knowing that scenario and knowing how the Lord is, I just teach the kids, and I think I'll teach anybody that, because I'm sharing it with you, that if somebody's hitting you, even if it was a male and a male fighting, if the guy punches you or whatever it is, our job as a Christian is to turn the other cheek. I'm going to be honest. If somebody comes to me and hit me, I don't think that thought would be first in my head. I don't think, God forgive me for saying that. I don't think that thought would be first in my head. The thought in my head would be, I'm not lying, because one time I almost did that. One time, it was cold. It was around when the first outbreak happened. I went to the laundry. I was washing my kids' clothes. And when I was washing my kids' clothes, mind you, I came on time. I came there at a certain time. There was nobody there. And I washed my kids' clothes. And then I made sure I was on a timer. So when I was on a timer, when I stepped out, when I came back, when the washer's done, it has that tick sound. That's meaning it's unlocked. It's ready for you to take the clothes out. So when I came in, it went tick. So I put myself down to go get a cart to put my clothes. Guys, I was looking for a cart because it was the washer I was using was in this side of the laundromat, and then I had to go around the whole laundromat because it had two sides, very long laundromat, to look for a cart. I finally got a cart. When I came back, the washer was going, and I'm like, oh, my clothes is washing again. And I'm like, no, hold up, you need to put money in the washer for it to go. And I look to the side, I see my kids' clothes in the cart. Oh, I'm confessing today. My kids' clothes in the cart. I'm like, who took my kids' clothes out the cart? And I forgot where I was. I just forgot where I was. Some lady that was across from me, was across from the washer, sitting in front of the washer, and she knew washer sitting in front of the washer. She goes say, I did that. I'm like, why did you touch my kids' clothes? Why did you do this? She was like, oh, I needed to wash my kids. I had to wash my clothes, and I'm in a rush. I was like, no, lady, I was here on time, and I got here on time. You shouldn't be touching my clothes. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be touching people's clothes. What is wrong with you? And that was like first outbreak and stuff like that. And she was like, well, I don't have time for this. And she started cussing at me. I kid you not. I remember that day. I feel like it was the presence of God was like, this is what happened. When she said she was cussing at me, she said, I don't have effing time for this. I got stuff to do. And she was just, and I'm like, do you know who you talk? I just went like this. Do you know? I was like, wait, hold up. Raph, no, this is not you. And I feel like the Spirit of God was saying, this is not you. Girl, you better back up. So when I walked to her, I'm like, do you know? Oh my goodness. I was like, do you know who you're talking to? Because you don't do that. You don't touch people's clothes in the laundromat. Like, you don't, in my brains, you just don't do that. And then when I did that, and I'm like, like when I was saying, do you know who you're talking to? I feel like the Spirit was saying, do you know what you're doing? This is not you. At the same moment. And I look up, everybody eye was on me. Everybody was just waiting. They were just waiting. But the other thing is, I feel like their eyes opened even wider when I backed up. I backed myself up because I was in the wrong. I was gonna be in the wrong. Yes, she touched my kids' clothes. Yes, she. I didn't take too long. I didn't because I was there when it went off. I went to go get a cart, but the lady was already. She was like, already like maybe she thought I was trying to get the washer, and that's why she did it so fast. And I didn't even see her when she did that. So when I go and I realized, I was like, do you know? And I went to her face, like I really did, because I felt violated. I'm gonna say I felt violated because I don't know where your hands been. Everybody's washing clothes. I don't know what you did with your clothes that you have to wash your clothes. And I'm just thinking crazy and stuff like that. And I just feel some type of way. I'm just being considerate. Like I wouldn't do that. Like if I see a washer, somebody done with their washer, either they took 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 20 minutes, 20 seconds, I still wouldn't open the washer and take their clothes out, let alone their kids' clothes. I just feel some type of way about it. I feel like that's if somebody doesn't have self-control, that's grounds for okay. So what else happened? I stayed up far away from that lady out as I was in the laundromat. And I just thought, when you're so upset, you just like you just get emotional. She did something else to me where I was in the one side. She came up to me and said something to me. I was like, leave me alone, don't talk to me, leave me alone, do not talk to me, because I did not feel safe for myself and her. And she was like provoking me. The reason why I said she was provoking me. The other thing that happened was when I was outside, I feel like the lady kept on antagonizing me. She kept on doing stuff like it was kind of off. And I was there with my kids. I called law enforcement, and she still kept on bothering me, still kept on following me. Yes, that's what she did. When I moved my car because she came next to my car. And I'm like, why she's following me? Why she's doing this? And at this time, I did not want to react on my emotions. I wanted to make an executive decision, a smart decision. I didn't want to make a stupid decision. So I called for help because she was just following me and bothering me. And then before the law enforcement got there, I was just outside, just like looking at the car because the car was parked right in front of the laundromat. I was just standing outside, just just trying to take a fresh breath of air, just trying to relax. And the lady comes to my face and start talking. I was like, please leave me alone. And then she goes, yeah, you did this, did that. And she started cussing at me and putting the video on her phone on my face. Like she's going like this, like this lady. It was like a devil spirit on the lady. She started to provoke me. I was like, oh, and you don't know how bad I wanted to retaliate, but I'm like, nope, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna let the devil win. You know the devil tactic. You better be smart. And the law enforcement came. I told them what happened, but they was focusing on other things. I'm like, don't you see what this lady was doing? And I was like, okay, okay. I didn't have no. I had a problem, but I left. I left the laundromat and I never came back because at the end of the day, you don't know, especially if a person has been through a hard, traumatic childhood, teenhood, and they become an adult by the grace of God. They're civilized citizens. They're they are active in the community in a positive way. They still are healing. You do not come to nobody face and provoke them. You just don't do anything. Especially if they gave you grace, they gave you the opportunity of they could have met you at your level and worse. They let it slide. You just don't go back and provoke those people. And I feel like that was her motive. She wanted a reaction out of me again, and I wasn't giving it to her. So she tried to provoke me again. And I could have, because she came at the laundromat again, putting the phone in my face, cussing me out, going like this. I'm like, wow, I'm really having an encounter with some type of something right now. So after that happened, I never went to that laundromat. But why am I repeating the story? Is because that is crazy. Crazy would be around you. You just need to know the sign of crazy. When a law enforcement got there, they wasn't even focused on what the lady was doing. They was focused on me. On me. Okay? So there's certain scenario when a person snap or a person punches a person too many times. It was okay, you could have punched them one time. Why you had to punch them three times? Or there was a robbery. Somebody climbed somebody's fire escape into their apartment, and the person and again cut with the knife because the 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 dish hamper was right by the window. The person that was getting robbed got sued because the robber got cut. And guess what? The robber won the money. So knowing these type of scenarios are just not fantasy stories, they're real life stories. I just teach the kids, somebody hit you, it burns. If you need to defend yourself once, depending on the person, I don't advise no man to hit a woman. Don't do it, because the anger and the level of strength you're gonna give to that girl, to that female. Because when a man is angry, especially when it comes to you provoking the male physically, mm-mm, I'm sorry, that guy is gonna hurt you because you're doing something that's obviously not supposed to be done. You're doing something to cause pain. You're doing something that you don't care the consequences. You should know better. So, and not all males agree with that statement. Don't hit back. Not all males agree with that. They agree. You want to get hit. You want to hit. You want to get hit. Whatever you get, you get. So for me, I'm like, I really don't want for people to be like, okay, well, for my kids to be like, okay, they hit me, let me hit back. You know, even in school, if somebody hit you, don't hit back. But if you have to defend yourself because the person is hitting you or they're blocking you, whatever, if you have to push them to move them out the way, you do that. And you move, you run and you ask for help. If they call you a punk later, they call you can't fight later, hey, let it be. Because whatever consequence is going to be, let it be for the person that provoked you, not for you. The bad consequences, I mean. The bad consequences, let it be for them, not for you. Because some people are just provokers. I met with adults that provoker. And it took, like, I was crying like a baby. I was crying like a baby after the lady did that because I realized if I did not have self control, if I didn't have God in my life, I didn't have the Holy Spirit in me, there could have been. I have things to lose. I don't know if she had things to lose. I have things to lose. I have, and it just made me so emotional. But why am I repeating that story? I do not know why. So after I left that one job, I went to the other job that I'm currently in right now that I'm about to leave. It just made more sense because of everything that was going on. And I feel like if I did not take that job at the moment, or if I didn't seek that job at the moment, I could have been at a deeper depression state of mind, if that makes sense. Because I did not understand why certain things was going the way they was going. Some people even said to me that I should have stayed at the job that was causing me all those grief and also put risking my kids' safety. And I know for a fact they would not put their kids in that type of situation. I'm gonna leave it right there. What was the other thing that happened? Um, it was so much that happened, and I just observed so many things at a short amount of time that just gave me the yuck that I was like, I need to get myself out the house. If I keep marinating on these things, marinating on that, I'm just gonna go crazy. Then I'm gonna just put everybody in their place. And sometimes God will put you in a position to put people in their place. You just find the right one. Sometimes God wants you to close your mouth, let them do what they want to do. You do what you gotta do. I don't know why is that. Maybe God want them to see an example. Maybe God wants you to learn something. Maybe you don't know. You just don't know. But when you feel that when you will know when God wants you to say something because of the after effect of it. You will know God when God wants you to be quiet. You will see the after effect of it, if that makes sense. So me by saying that, at the time it served a purpose. I was aligned with that job. It was meant for me to be at that job. Now I've been there for a few years now, and mm, what I'm doing outside of the job, I'm progressing. What's going on inside of the job, I'm not progressing. I'm the same position. Was that job for me at the time? Yes. Is it for me right now? No. When I first started the job, they said they couldn't give me more than nine something an hour. They couldn't do that because if they gave me more than nine something an hour, that was a manager position. Okay? That's what they told me. Within that week, another girl got hired. I got paid around nine something an hour, and I don't mind disclosing that with you guys. The girl comes in, she's getting paid 10 something, closer to 11 something an hour. And guess what? She is not a manager, she's also part time. Okay. And she's getting more hours than me as a part time worker. So I was like, make that make sense. And it made sense if you just call it what it was, but I was that Lulu. I was in La La Land. I was just giving everybody the benefit of the doubt that, as a manager, you're looking out for me. You're looking out for everybody. But it wasn't the case. That was not the case. That's not what happened. And I realized at the end, and I realized how they want to fire people. They don't want to fire you directly. They want you to leave. They will do stuff for you to leave. And I feel like that's what they were doing in the beginning. Then after a while, they didn't, because they couldn't read me. They could not read me. I remember one time I was talked to so rudely. And I remember one time I was told to mop the floor. And I'm like, okay. The other manager was like, oh, I can mop it. They was like, no, I want so and so to mop it. I'm like, okay. And then you know what's so crazy? Um, that shift, I'm the morning shift. The night shift was supposed to take care of that. The night shift was not doing anything, nothing that they were supposed to do in the chart in the chore list. So I did it. I did it. But now, since they are giving me one day 4 hours, I'm like, and that's how they kick people out. Okay, they give you one day a week, 4 hours. So 4 hours a week you're working. And I seen they've done that to several people to the point that I know that's for a fact that's what they're doing. I remember they wanted to fire this one guy because I'm gonna tell you guys now. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The guy do stand there and not do anything. He said that several times, saying, "I want to be on register, and not do anything." And I spoke up several times. I said, you just don't stand here and not do anything. You actually have a chore list to do. Plus, if there's like an assignment that the managers want you to do, they give you an assignment on top of your chore list. And the guy would just stand there, post, get upset depending who's coming in the store, hiding. They don't want them in the store, cussing up a storm, just acting like a security guard, but they're not. And I hear the back end of everybody complaining about him, how this is not what he's doing, this is not what he's doing, this is not what he's doing. They wanted to fire him the first time, but they couldn't because the person that was supposed to come in to work said the job was too difficult. They didn't like the area, they didn't like the job, so they quit. So they gave the guy back his hours. The guy didn't notice that, but when they gave him back his hours, he started to do the same thing but worse. And he actually did a few things to me personally that um I could understand whatever decision they made, because he wasn't doing anything for real. So I go and I see they give him 1 day, and he actually asked if he was fired because he's seen everybody's getting hours, plus the new people's getting hours, and he's going to get in 1 day 4 hours a week. And you seen this now, guys? Hey, so my phone showed that it was on 5%, right? And I was like, oh, I got more time. I got more time. I got more time to get back to go to the charger. Yeah, right. I the thing died. It died. So I'm sorry about that. Um, I'm actually putting it on charger now. But what was I saying? But yeah, how do you want to get rid of people? Just give you 1 day, 4 hours, and because they don't want to give unemployment. They don't want to give unemployment. That's I guess they're told that, and it's really bad. So now they have people working, but I have reservation of that because certain things that has happened has been reported that it's very like it's not good. Basically, long story short, they're not gonna last. I'm just gonna say that. Not because I'm jealous, not because I have like a negative mindset. It's just the things that has been happening, factual things, actions that is not okay at all, at all, at all. Like just know that they're not at their right, excuse me, at their right state of mind. Like they're is not safe at all. But anywho, I started to do the registration online, but I did not finish because I got on a soapbox, start talking. Oh my goodness, I can talk. I've been talking for an hour. Um, but yeah, I'm just not. I just don't want to be there anymore. Um, it's like a waste of time. Um, like I go in. Other people say good, and it's like majority of people around here are like that. I go in, I say good morning. They don't open their mouth and say good morning. It's like I ruin their day, I ruin their morning. I'm like, okay. Um, like so that I'm communicating with you, there is notes plastering everywhere. Like I'm like, talk to them. Don't put notes. Like, what is that? So, um, and a lot of people calling off. Like they want their day off. They're not calling off, but they want their day off. If they don't have to work, they're calling off. And this one person is always like, I'm gonna this year, the end of well, so maybe like around May, I started taking time off. I I took time off because it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense, and I felt like everything that's happening is like is directly on purpose. And then there was one guy I was talking to at the career link. I was mentioning certain things to him, and I was like, I wasn't gonna tell him where I work at. And he was like, the only place I know around here that does stuff to people like that, that is like really, really like weird when it comes to their employees that do like shady, shady stuff is this company. And he said the company name. I'm like, yep. So I'm not tripping. Everything that I'm experiencing is not like, oh, it's all in my head. No. And then I was supposed to have to, then I know it's like the boot because the day of truck I'm off. They gave me off. Not that I took off, but they gave me off. And then I was supposed to have that day, and then they put the guy they want to give the boot to. Like they done. The guy's stubborn. Ooh, the guy said, "I know I'm not dumb. I know they want to get rid of me, but I'm not. I'm not leaving the job." And then the guy, they gave the day I was supposed to be there on truck day. They gave it to the guy. They gave it to the guy. So for me, and I don't. The guy complains. The guy talks about what's going on. I don't disclose anything to him because, again, he some of the stuff that he does is not professional, and I don't want, you know, I don't want to. How would I say this? He's already like a. I don't know how to. I don't want to condone that type of behavior, and I don't have nothing good to say when it comes to that because he did some stuff to me personally that wasn't uncalled for. So I don't have nothing good to say, so I don't say anything. I don't say anything. And um um he was like trying to make me side with him, like, oh, you see how me and you both and we the both getting low hours and stuff. But one thing I did notice, and I don't know why am I keep talking about this. I don't know why I am because I feel like the fact that I don't have nothing, like I'm not working at a new job yet, is just bothering me. It's just bothering me. But I noticed they hire so many new people, right? But you don't, what's it called? You don't have hours, but the new people's having hours more than I am. That's been working there for a long time. So I can't say it's not intentional. It's intentional. And there was a time that, so last year, a lot of new people. So let me see, between 3 months ago and last year. Okay, so between, let's just say between 7 months, 7 months ago, there were like one, two, three, four. There's somebody else, but I can't think of them. But let's just say four of them that started the job. One of them was already like a manager key holder, so you could take them out. But all of them, besides me, actually, yeah, it's that other guy. So it's five new people that came in. There's several other people came in, but the reason I say five is because, okay, no problem. The reason why I say five is because all four of them are managers. Everybody became a manager. I've been there longer than they have, and I'm not a manager. I do not want to be a manager at that store. I do not want to because the things that goes, it's just mm-mm. The one guy. I'm not lying to you. This is the honest truth. The one guy that week he became a manager, he started that training. The day he started training, that following day or that same day, he had to be um they told he had to go home, go to the hospital, and they said he had potential or he had a heart attack. That's what they said. That's what he said, and he was off for like 2 3 days, and he came back to work. I'm like, okay. So mm-mm, mm-mm. So everybody came to became a manager, which I'm happy. If you want to be a manager at the store, then hey, I'm happy for you. That's like really honestly good for you. I'm really happy for you. But for me, no. Um, I decided to do something else to better myself, better my life. I'm currently working on that, and a manager seen that. I don't know if they wanted me to feel some type of way, like everybody became managers and I'm not. I'm still a sales associate. I don't want to. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. 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 Nope. The stuff like this one. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I've seen too much. No, it's okay. I don't really see the hate comments, but it's okay. I don't really see it. You good? Oh, I think my son is done with his practice. To go pick up my son. Hold on, guys. So, I was like, um, I didn't want to be a manager. I decided to do something else. That eventually I would have to leave the job. What I decide to do. But so now I'm gonna take you guys to the journey with me on getting a new job and starting train. That's one thing I hate applications. I hate filling out applications. I hate going to like all these trainings and oh, I hate them. I'm not gonna lie, I hate them. That's why that's another reason why I was dreading it. But it is what it is. It's something that I have to do and I'm gonna do it. Um so that's one thing. So far I have like this one agency where like they are hiring and then I just need to do the registration. I'm gonna try to do it by tonight. So tomorrow they have it and they have me on the system and they could call me back for an interview. I'm gonna try to get my car fixed as soon as possible, God willing, so I can get a job outside of the city that I'm in because most of the city that I'm in, people know people. I think where I'm gonna go anyways, they're gonna know some few people, but majority this town is so small. You go 10 people already knew that you went ah. I am not lying to you guys. I wish I was. Depending on what influence that they have on them, they can if something right was supposed to be done by you, it's not gonna get done, depending on the influence they have. I wish I was lying. I wish this was a movie. I was pretending, but I don't want to. Another thing is, the higher paying jobs are not here. And I talked to somebody in Korean, like he was like, "You're right. The higher paying job is outside of this town," and they're saying, "Oh, okay, this town is low income. You only get paid, but you're not realizing this town the gas is still high compared to other towns that are high, like they have higher paying jobs. The gas is still the same, or it's higher. The commute is longer for you to go anywhere. Is like 15 to 30 minutes out. There's nothing in this town. So, how are you telling me this is low income area? It's not. So, um, he agreed with me on that. Like the high paying job is outside of this area. Or at least the job that I want, the job that I am qualified to do, and I have the certification to do it is outside this area. The one job, this one nursing home, I applied to it several times. I don't know if it's because the nurse director directing of nursing was somebody that knew me that used to go to the church that I used to go to, quit, or I didn't show up after my first day of training because I got scared of something and I decided to come back. I don't know what the reason is, but always call to check on the status and see when I could come in for my orientation again. They said, "Oh, we're gonna look in the schedule," but by accident they text me and said, "Oh, so are you available to come this? Did you see the time that you were available to come do this shift and stuff like that?" And that's was the shift I was asking for. And I called and I let them know this is not so and so, but this is so and so. Because you were supposed to call me. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get back to you." Never called me. So I don't know. Fritos, you eating Fritos? That's good. That sounds good right now. Hold on. Okay, so, but yeah, so it's just I'm ranting so much. I think I should just get things out my chest, and because I started to rant the other day, and I deleted the live because I was just talking, 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 talking. But I might keep this live. I don't know. I might keep this live. I might not, but it's something documented on starting my new job again. Honestly, okay, that's good. That's good. You're going to a new cheer. Um, that's crazy, man. And the thing about it is that manager knows most managers around this vicinity. I remember there was this one job that I applied to, and they needed people. Oh, I was supposed to go to that one place for the job. I just remember now. That was the other thing I was supposed to do. I hate when I forget important things like that. There was another job I was going to check out. But anywho, there was this one job that I applied to. They said they needed people like now, like at the moment. Like if they could take me that day, they would. But I gave them my job that I'm currently in information. They never called me. They never called me. They never called me back. They called me for an interview. They like the interview. The interview went well. They needed people. They were saying, okay, this is when you're gonna start, this, that, and the third. I never got a call back after they got my job now information. And I've been there for a while, so I'm gonna have to put their information on my application. I think. I don't know. I don't want to. I honestly don't want to. Oh my goodness, I don't want to. Oh, gravity chair. Good. I want to see if my son messaged me for me to pick him up. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm gonna see if my son. Hold on. Mm. Yeah, I have to go check for my son texted to come pick him up. I think I'm gonna go. Maybe I should just go tomorrow and check. I don't know. I really said this for it. I'm trying to get a job right now, like where I fit in and I could go with the hours with the kids because the kids' sports, activities, practice, church, school. It's just, I do want a job like I could work from home and stuff like that, but I haven't found one yet. Too late. I need to take my phone. Do not disturb. I'm gonna take it outside if you message me. My hair's itchy. I was supposed to do my hair. I want to start doing my hair tonight, but I don't know. Today was crazy. The weather. Went outside and I was like, is this January? It was so warm. The sun was peeking through the clouds. I was like, if a person did not get out today, it was a waste of a day. I'm just saying that because I got to go. I pushed myself to get out, but um, whew, it was so nice. It was really nice out. I was really, really happy how nice it was. I was like, it's a very nice day out. The sun was shining. It had that but what made me sad and concerned, because we always have to be concerned sometimes, because, well, most of the time, because it's supposed to be freezing cold, okay? Because we're in January. Reason why I was sad is because I'm like, but what about the bears and the animals that are hibernating? Because they need the cold to hibernate. So they wake up and they're like, oh, it's hot. It's springtime, and they go see in a few days if it's snow or whatever, is not springtime. Or the animals that's in the caves or in some type of wooded area that people don't know they're in hibernating comes out, and they're upset now because it's not spring, it's still winter, and now they woke up, now they gotta eat, and people are hiking. mm, my brain went too far, but I'm thinking about, all of that. And I'm like, the animals, they're hibernating. The bears. And we have some bears around here. We have some bears around here. I remember the first time we moved here, we was going to a park. I seen a bear wobbling from a distance. I'm like, not too far. If it ran to us, eh, it could have been behind us. It was wobbling behind us, but it was close enough. I'm like, is that a bear? And I seen it just wobbling. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a bear. I was in shock. Yes, yes. I never seen a bear that close. I've been a PA for several decade, past a decade now. I never seen a bear that much. I always heard stories about how there was a mama and a cub in the Walmart dumpster, like the Walmart that we usually go to back in Reading, but I never seen one like personally. I seen skunks, I seen raccoons, I seen river rats. The river rats got me, but like they scared me. But I never seen like I seen a wolf before. Either a wolf or a huge fox, but I think it was a wolf. I think it was a wolf. Somebody was. They was like, no, there's no wolves here. I'm like, how you arguing with a person that told you they seen a wolf? How you for sure you know what creepy crawlers, what animals we have in our backyard? There's so many people that brings exotic, weird animals to their home, and out of the animal escape or they let them go. How do you know that? Oh, I did not see a wolf. I seen a wolf. I hate when people do that. Oh, you did not see no wolf. There's no wolf around here. And they was adamant. They was upset too. I'm like, okay. I know it wasn't no dog. It was like one white, the like a cream coat white, and it was big. It was furry and it was big. And it had like a long snout, like a long nose. I knew what I seen. I knew what I seen. And then there was one behind it. It was gray black, like it was black, grayish, salt and pepper color, and it was walking across the highway. I'm like, how you gonna tell me I didn't see what I seen? And the way it was, the direction was going, it was like this wooded area, like woods area, like deep in the forest, like the other side of the highway. So I'm like, I was like, you know what? When they see it, it's like, oh, she was right, whatever. But I seen deers before, like closed deers. I seen that. I seen little deers, but I never really seen a bear. When I seen the bear that day, I'm like, I was in shock. I was like, what? I'm really in the countryside now. Oh man, my hand's hurting. I have you guys on the. I was holding you guys. Excuse me. Hold on. Put you guys over here because the way my arm's starting to hurt. Mm. How long am I gonna be on here today? I don't know. I've been on here for a minute. Watching somebody else's live. I just put stuff on their channel. Mm. Mm.
kid's daddy and my friend ride around being together. But one thing I did, I released her from my heart. Because you know why? God gonna take care of those people that hurt you. God gonna take care of them. And you can't trust God with just a little bit of part of your life. You must trust God with the whole everything, even the bad. You gotta trust him. Some of y'all talking about trust God. Some of y'all don't even trust God, but you want somebody, you want to be able to trust somebody. You don't even trust God. You got to trust God with everything in you. Even when all hell breaking loose, even when you got the eviction notice on your door, even when your husband walking away, even when your kids' daddy walking away and living the best life, even when your money looking funny, trust God. When the boss say you fired, when they say you're not getting a promotion, you're not getting a raise, trust him. You're taking a test, you keep failing it, trust him. You want to open a business but it failed, trust him. You about to go down, trust him. Okay. Release your parents, first of all, so we can release these trauma bonds from your parents. Release them. They made mistakes. You made some too, and you're going to make some as long as you live. And listen, set boundaries. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. You must set boundaries. You got a toxic mama, set boundaries. When she go to talking out the side, no mom. When she go to doing it, no mom, no dad. Like, set boundaries. Some things you're going to allow around your children, and a lot of things you're not. Release your parents and give them to God. And let God deliver you. Ain't you tired of running around here saying, if trauma from your parents was your thing, I want you to cross that out. You should have been gonna wrote it down. Everybody on my live should have a pen and a paper because we put the date on here. Today is our healing day. We crossing out everything that has us back. Next, we talk about mental abuse. Mental. Let me tell you something. I wrote a book, and the title of my book called 3 Years Too Long. He was never a physical type of guy. He never ever. She said, I'm late here, but I'm here. He never. We healing today, sister. We are healing. If you haven't downloaded my journal, go link in my bio. Download that journal. But if you haven't downloaded my journal, make sure you have something to write on. Make sure you have your pen and your pencil. And at the top of that, you need to put healing and you need to put today's date and tell me what you are not healed from. Because we healing today. He was never a physical abuse. It was a mental abuse. He controlled me.
I just find this. It's interesting.
To the point where in my mind, I had to succumb to everything that he would say to me. He would talk reckless to me. Reckless. Disrespectful, distasteful. Do stuff. I can catch him doing stuff, but I stayed in it. Until one day I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of watching myself be sick and tired. When I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of watching myself be sick and tired, I told myself nobody could stop it. I prayed and said, Lord, take this pain away. The Lord clapped back and said, I ain't taking nothing away because I ain't, first of all, told you to deal with this man. This man would tell me, now mind you, when he met me, I was in school. This is my first year. I got a master's degree now. I had just was getting ready to get my AA. I was a single mother, had my own apartment, own car. This man would act as if I was nothing. He stood in my house, rode in my car, and said, I have nothing. He only dealt with women that had themselves together. He told me I was nothing but a high-paid babysitter. And I would look in the mirror and say, you know what? I know realized who I was and whose I was, it was time for me to heal. It was time for me to heal. It was time for me to say, you know what? Wait a minute, this can't be like, this can't even be of God. Not me crying every day. Not me crying every day.
I think he's at a wrestling game, but I didn't get no text back.
You gotta fight with everything in you to overcome the mental assault that was on your life. That part. Just right here. You got to fight for your mental to be back in tune. And when I tell you, the day I walked away and told myself, and mind you, I didn't walk away the first time, the 100 times, 1,000 times, 2,000 times. It took a while for me to get enough confidence to say, I deserve better than this, and this can't be what God got for me. I remember talking to one of my homegirls, and she was saying this and that, and I told her, I would not look back 10 years from now and still be in a broken situation, and baby, I am not. Because I fought with everything in me. You hear me? Listen to me, ladies. I fought with everything in me to remain who I was throughout that whole ordeal. And when I broke free, baby, I ain't look back. When I broke free, I ain't look back. I can remember having a conversation with him. And he told me, oh, you changed. The tone of my voice was different. The way I responded to him was different. Because now, at that point, I had found me again. I was able to walk away and know that I had loved him the right way, and he mistreated me.
Amen.
And I did nothing wrong to him. I was able to walk away. And when you can walk away from somebody like that has harmed you and meant you no good, and you can walk away and say, I did everything that I could. But I understood I had to take responsibility. When I started taking responsibility, I got my mental in order. Because I ain't had no business dealing with no man like that. None. My older kid's daddy had already showed me the blueprint on what a good man is and how I should be treated. I didn't have to work with him, but we were young and it just didn't work out. But me lowering my standards for somebody like him, you understand me? I'm talking about lower my standards for somebody like him. That is what I be talking about when I say it's me versus me. You got to tell yourself you've had enough. You got to tell yourself you've had enough. And only then your mama can't get tired, your homegirl can't get tired, your homeboy can't get tired, your auntie, your sister, you gon' feel all that.
I'm still on my speaker.
Why are you letting me use the bathroom? Why are you letting me use the bathroom?
What? No, other phone's over there. I told you, bring toilet paper. This is about to finish.
I tell him?
What? Yeah, do this.
chains had been broken because I had finally dropped him off and didn't even care. I did not care. I dropped him off and ain't looked back since. So when it comes to mental abuse, you got to take your power back. You got to take your power back. Take your power back from what is weighing you down, from what is holding you up. You telling yourself mentally, I'm tired. I'm tired. Why do y'all do that? Why do stuff that we go through? We got to look in the mirror and face it because we got to be the ones. Because I know I ain't had no business. Y'all hear me? This man ain't even had no teeth in his mouth. I ain't had no business. I ain't had no business. You hear me? And I'm serious about that, even though it's funny, like y'all. I ain't had no business. But you got to go through something. And sometimes you be asking God, because there's a scripture in the Bible where had that thorn in his side, and God would not remove that thorn in his side. And everybody think that we serve a God, oh, just take the thorn out. Sometimes he's gonna leave that thorn down so that you can learn your lesson, so that he can understand. I ain't talking about told you to touch that hot stove. I ain't telling you to go down and do them, and you went down and do them because curiosity got the best of you. Sometimes you gotta stand still. What I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is, when you get sick and tired, you'll know. If mental abuse was your thing,
Yeah, really good. Like, do you think the bird been?
I'm not
You
gonna
finish
say
your
too
homework?
much on
Yo,
Please go finish it.
because there's no expiration date on how long you grieve. There's no, if you're gonna grieve however much you long you gonna take. And I can't tell you how I would handle certain things because how you feel is not how I feel. But I will say this. When you think about losing someone, you gotta know
I'm listening to another live if you're wondering where
Are
I'm
you
at.
really afraid of abandonment or you afraid of, oh, I'm gonna be alone? Quit thinking that you're gonna be alone. You only gonna be alone because it's a mindset. If you wanna date, go date. If you wanna be by yourself, be by yourself. You can't stop your life because you hurt, because I can tell you they ain't gonna stop their life. I can guarantee you that. Most women want to stay single and heal, and I need closure. While the man over there happy, married, bought a house, got up pregnant, don't did, and you standing back like this, and you hurt, and he ain't studying you. I had to learn that. That man ain't studying me, and here I am hurt and need closure. I learned I don't need no closure. I learned I ain't need no closure. I learned that, wait a minute, hold on. Because if he can go on without me, he ain't care nothing about me anyway. You understand me? If fear of abandonment was yours. Now, this nervous system, no, I don't even know how to speak on that. Listen, y'all already know. My life is my life. I ain't gonna sugarcoat. I ain't gonna hold nothing back. I ain't gonna water it down to fit your needs. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. Because some people been lied to all their life. Be running around here and listen. I can't stand it all. Want to ask me for advice and want me to say, "Oh, he coming back." Girl, he ain't studying you. He done moved on over there. He done moved on over there. And you standing around here talking about you need clothes. You standing like this, thinking that, oh, because I got kids, he gonna come back. And the biggest thing women be saying, because I got that good, oh, he gonna come back. Girl, he only spinning the block because you let him spin the block. He ain't coming back to be your man. And ain't it something how some women are baby mamas and become the side chick? I ain't gonna never understand that. I know that because I've been there. I was wondering to myself, how I'm the baby mama and I'm the side chick. When I got that revelation, I said, ain't nobody side chick. I don't deal with dudes that had on ladies and they tell me you don't know how to act right. They told me you don't play passenger backseat too well. And I realized I don't. I had to tell myself that one day. I don't play passenger seat well. I don't play backseat. Baby, if I can't be in the front seat, if I can't drive it, I don't want to be a part of it. Your girl just ain't no passenger seat, backseat type of driver. I'm just saying, you gonna have to, what we doing here? Some of y'all don't understand that. Hey, some of y'all don't understand that. Some of y'all be side chicks. Listen, I ain't side chick with you. I'm gonna be just honest with you. I don't play too well like that. I'm gonna need my own man so I can call him when I want to, so he can come over when I want him to come over. I'm gonna need to be able to take pictures. I'm gonna need to be able to show your face. I'm gonna need to be able to say that's my man. I ain't got time to be fighting nobody over no man. It's too many out there. I don't play side chick, passenger seat, backseat driver. I don't play that too well. You hear what I'm saying? I don't. You hear what I'm saying? So when women be asking me, I'm serious, y'all. They would get in my inbox and they ask me for advice. And the first thing they say, well, I'm dealing with my baby daddy and he got somebody. Hold on, right there, you messed up. Right there. You messed up right there. You the baby mama, but you the side chick. Quit walking around here like being a baby mama is a badge of honor. Being a mother is the badge of honor. Being a baby mama don't carry no weight. Being a mother, listen to me. You brought life in this world. That's the badge of honor. Being a baby mama, if you don't take several seats in the back and come out to the front and get out of my face, because you the baby mama, I'm a baby mama, you a baby mama, she a baby mama. What does that mean? My husband got a baby mama. What that mean? I'm just saying, for my girl in Jamaica, them saying that I just said what's on my mind. I'm just saying, somebody got to tell the truth to ladies. Because there's too many people in the Lulu that's Lulu. Listen to me. Healing. Everything I said. Everything I said. You should have crossed it off. Because, baby, we healing from it. Listen to me. We're no longer going to be bound to what no for instance. We're no been cheated on, dogged out, lied to, used, been side chick. You ain't know he had a chick. You knew he had a chick. You still played around, fell in love. You think you the only one he helped you pay your bills? You think you the only one? You are not. You are not. You think you the only one got your heart broke? You think you the only one in this world that mama didn't take care of you, your grandma had to raise you? You think you the only one that don't got your daddy last name, and you got homegirls got their daddy last names, and they trying to act like they better than you? You think you the only one? You think you the only one? You live with your baby daddy, y'all having a happy family, and you think hell ain't gonna come because you raising your child with your baby daddy? You think because you live in a gated community, all hell ain't gonna break loose? You think because you dating a celebrity or somebody with a whole lot of money, you ain't gonna never have no hard time? You think because you don't came up on a lick and you got everything material-wise, hell ain't gonna knock on your door? You think, oh, because my son going to college, my son better than anybody try that didn't go to college. You think that you better than people because you got material things? Baby, you ain't exempt if you go to Mount Zion Church. You can be the pastor's wife. Hell gonna come for you one way or another because you living in this world. But you gotta get this mentality that you know what? I'm no longer walking around here angry and mad at things I can't change. I cannot change things in my life that I went through with that dude. I can't change this.
Ooh, I don't know where I stumble. Well, I stumble, right?
I can't change it. Bad as I wish I could.
And that's why I
can't change it. Bad as I wish I could erase certain things that I did, I can't change it. Because you know why? Let me tell you something. Why. Because everything I done went through made me who I am.
Amen.
I had to go through the shaking and the pressing to become who I am right now. I told y'all my mama was on drugs, daddy didn't care, men hurt me, baby daddy went with my friend, but I got a whole master's degree. 4 kids and a whole master's degree. In society, a black woman, loud from the ghetto, from the hood, going through what I went through, struggling to raise her kids, got a master's degree? Who would have ever thought? Hey, Miss Freedom, who would have ever thought? Because you know why? I stopped trusting me and started trusting God. I got out the way and let God do his big one. I realized I wasn't the one that come to see. You understand me? I stepped out the way and let God do the heavy lifting. Now I got a good man. He ain't perfect, but I got a good man. A provider. A protector. I got a good man. I could never go back. If me and him didn't make it, I could never go back to mediocre because he showed me exceptional. He showed me extraordinary. I could never go back to simple. Never. After him, baby, he showed me extraordinary. He showed me when I thought I knew love, baby, he showed me. You understand me? A love from a black man. And a lot of women feel like black men don't know how to love. Honey. Let me clock that T, clock that T, clock that T, clock that T, clock that T. When God showed up, God showed up. I got my master's degree, bought a house, and got married. All in the same year. Everything fell off the wall. When God show up, he don't show up. He show up and show out. You got to trust that. Clock that T. Clock it. You understand me? But you don't understand that because some of y'all won't even step out the way. You better clock that T. Baby, he went to the house that I'm in. We're not under no loan. Do you understand me? My husband had the money in the bank. This house, we didn't get a loan from the bank. He had the money in the bank. Like all he did was when he got a cashier's check and we put the money down. That's what kind of God we serve. That's what kind of God we serve. Do you understand me? That's the kind of God we serve. We ain't wait on no loan. We went and got the money out the bank and they did the paperwork and we put the money down for the house and we got the loan like that. But we ain't under no Fannie Mae. We ain't under no government assistance. You understand me? and what she ain't gonna do, so I did it anyway. They said I couldn't do it, and I did it anyway. I didn't think I would do it, but I did it anyway. Do you understand me? The plan that God has for your life, He has plans for you to prosper and not for you to fail. God knows the plans that He has for your life. Do y'all understand me? To say everything I said, God knows the plan that He has for your life, for you to prosper and not for you to fail. But you got to trust the process. Everybody in the chat put trust the process. Trust the process. When all hell don't broke loose, trust the process. When them kids acting up, trust the process. When your marriage about to go left, trust the process. When that job acting up, trust the process. When them doctors say you ain't well, trust the process. When them people at your church acting up, trust the process. When that car go to acting up, trust the process. When them bills piling up and you ain't got no money, trust the process. When the government go to acting up, trust the process. You got to trust the process, and you got to understand, even when you can't see, trust the process. Everything that we talked about, we're not living that in that place no more. You got to tell yourself, your situation, trust, don't live here no more. Doubt, don't live here no more. Rejection, don't live here no more. Fear, don't live here no more. Abandonment, don't live here no more. Hurt from my husband, don't live here no more. Hurt from my wife, don't live here no more. Church hurt, don't live here no more. Rejection on my job, don't live here no more. Listen to me. It don't live there anymore. Not at your address, maybe down the street, but at your address as of tonight, we casting that thing in a pit of hell. I don't want God to uproot it. I want Him to uproot it and burn it up. Because in order for you to get where you need to be, you got to heal first. Do you hear what I say? You got to heal first. You walk around with all that gunk in you. You understand with me? You walk around with all that heaviness in you. After the night, you should feel. Now, everybody that made a mental box, everything that we talked about, I want you to put it in that mental box. Everything that we talked about, I'm going to need for you to put it in that box. I need for you to put a lid on that box. I need for you to chain up that box. I need for you to put cement on that box. I need for you to put a barbed wire on that box. And I need you to pick that box up. And I want you to dash it. I want you to dash it because that's going to the pits of hell. You don't want to carry that big, heavy mess no more. You want to be happy. In order for you to get to a certain place, you got to clean up what you messed up. You up in here. You messed up a lot of things because you looked at a lot of things. You took a lot of things. You allowed a lot of things. You sat there and accepted a lot of things because you didn't know no better. But as of today, at 6:38, you're no longer carrying what had you bound. You got to speak that thing. When doubt come in your mind, doubt come in your mind. Somebody on my live, you've been getting into it with your kid's dad. You're going to get into it with him again. But the very next time you have a conversation with your kid's dad and the conversation get ready to go left, stop, take a breath, and say, no, we're not going to do this. Because in order for us to co-parent, we got to get along. Because it's time for our kids to see us getting along. We got to stop all this back and forth, not listening to each other, tearing each other down, because our kids is watching. I don't know who that was for. Whoever that was for, you're going to get into it, and you've been getting into it with your kids' daddy. You're going to get into it with them again, but this time, you're going to change the trajectory of that conversation, because now it's time for you to grow up and stop and heal. You cannot heal and you're going to listen to me and cuss your baby daddy out, or you allow him to cuss you out. You got to change the trajectory, and if he's going to still talking, hang up until he get it. Hang up until he say, wait a minute, wait, she acting old. I'm no longer going to live there. That is not a part of me anymore. I don't know who needed to hear that, but the next conversation with you and your baby daddy, until y'all get it right, y'all ain't going to never move on from emotionally being attached to each other. You still being attached because you in your mind, you angry on the way he did you. You angry how he did the children. But listen to me, them kids don't know nothing about that. Them kids still love their daddy. I don't care what he
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate everybody that tapped the screen, that shared the screen, that tapped that sent a gift, that didn't send a gift. I hope I help somebody. Your paper should look like mine. Everything should be crossed out. Because baby, we're not living like that. We're not living like that no more. We're not. We're gonna get ready to pray. Repent of all my sins, Lord Jesus. I come to you, thanking you in advance for choosing me to be the vessel you chose to speak to your people. Lord, cover me from the top of my head to the sole of my feet. I plead the blood of Jesus over my husband and my son. Lord, protect their goings and their comings. Close the mouths of the enemy, close the ears of the prince of the air. Lord, anything that's not like you, I cancel it. Lord, open every door that needs to be open and close every door that needs to